After 3 decades of chasing the BMW 3 Series, the A4's journey ends here. The famous compact sedan is passing the torch to its younger and more attractive sibling, the all-new 2025 Audi A5, which comes completely redesigned and built over a completely new platform, with the hardest task so far. Will it be able to encompass a wider and more demanding range of customers, and will this simplifying of the lineup turn out to be a good move? We don't know, but we know that the new generation looks amazing in every aspect, so get ready to take a detailed look. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel because this is just one of many new and classic car reviews you should check out. First things first, before we start reviewing the new 2025 Audi A5, let's solve a couple of mysteries around its name. Namely, the Ingolstadt-based carmaker has decided to simplify its offer. Is it because of the ever-growing all-electric lineup, or the fact that sedans are not as popular as they used to be? We don't know, but the A4 is gone, as well as its high-performance siblings with the S and RS badges. From now on, the whole compact segment will be covered by the A5 at its high-performance iteration. And instead of a coupe, cabrio, and the so-called sportback body styles, the new A5 now comes with the sedan designation. But don't let the new naming policy confuse you because even though it's called a sedan, it still features the A5's most common body style. The German manufacturer used to call it Sportback due to its sloping roofline, but in essence, this is a hatchback, not drastically different from, let's say, a modern Civic hatchback. We presume that Audi wanted to move it away from the previous generation in the way that the new model also aims at traditional A4 buyers, those who prefer the classic sedan body style. In any case, the mystery seems to be solved, so let's finally get on the design and features of the all-new 2025 Audi A5. One of the biggest novelties of the new A5 is that it becomes the very first model that rides on the brand new PPC platform, which is short for Premium Platform Combustion, suggesting that this architecture is designed for combustion cars only. Indeed, it's the opposite of the all-electric PPE architecture, and we're happy to see that Audi and VW Group in general gathered enough strength to develop a new platform for internal combustion engines in this world of rapid electrification. Anyway, the new platform is a natural successor to the MLB platform. So quintessential Audi features are there, starting from the longitudinally mounted engine, standard front and optional all-wheel drive, with a good old Torsen differential. What's new is that the PPC platform has been optimized for hybrid powertrains, so pretty much every model based on it will feature some sort of electrification. For now, the A5 will feature a mild hybrid setup with an electric motor installed in the transmission, but we'll talk more about that once we get to the powertrain section. Another interesting novelty is a new chassis and suspension setup. Of course, torsional rigidity has been improved even more, while the company also said there's a completely new suspension setup with new geometry and new components. Audi says that the front suspension and steering mounts are now stiffer, while all-wheel drive models will feature torque vectoring rear differential as an option. As for the suspension, base models will feature steel springs, while adaptive dampers will be optional. Audi, like most German automakers, doesn't like to experiment much. Therefore, it's hard to notice any radical change when it comes to the design language. Of course, everything looks brand new, but when you look at it as a total package, no one will mistake the new A5 for some other brand. The grille, headlights, and the rest of the front end, everything looks pretty familiar, but once you take a better look, you'll notice that the grille is larger and that daytime running lights are now ahead of the hood. Then, you take a look at the rear end, and there's a lot to be seen, starting from wraparound taillights that can be customized with a variety of available patterns, but only if you live outside the United States. The key difference can be seen from the side. The new generation is 2.6 inches longer, while the wheelbase has been stretched by 3.1 inches. And the stretching seems to be used in the best possible way. Finally, Audi features a hood that seems long enough to complement that fastback layout, even though the roofline doesn't seem to descend as rapidly as in the previous generation. But we really like how the wheelbase ensured that longer dash-to-axle distance, so much so that some might even think that Audi has abandoned its decades-long tradition and built a car over a rear-wheel drive platform. Of course, that's not the case. As we already mentioned, this is a front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive platform, but American drivers will be happy to know that all models in this part of the world come standard with Audi's legendary Quattro all-wheel drive. As we already mentioned, the new platform has been optimized for electrified powertrain options, even though it's still mostly about internal combustion. It's been designed in the way to support all kinds of hybrid powertrain options, and for now, the A5 will be using mild hybrid setups. Base models will come with a 2-liter Turbo 4, which puts out 268 horsepower, and what's particularly important is that this is the first time Audi uses a variable turbocharger, which should ensure more torque and better throttle response at lower RPMs. Speaking of the better throttle response, the mild hybrid will certainly do its part, considering that it consists of an electric motor with 24 horsepower and quite respectable 170 pound-feet of torque. The electric motor is connected to the transmission output shaft, and that may be the reason why there's no version with manual transmission anymore. From now on, all variants will be offered with a dual-clutch automatic gearbox. Besides the standard Turbo 4, the new generation will also be offered with a 3-liter twin-turbo V6. Of course, we're talking about the S5 model, a high-performance version, which will also benefit from a mild hybrid setup and dual-clutch transmission. That V6 is a familiar engine, but it'll get a nice power boost, so the new version will feature 362 horsepower instead of 349. Once again, the S5 will come with all kinds of other upgrades, starting from a stiffer suspension and ground clearance lowered by a full inch when compared to the standard version. Upgraded brakes, adaptive dampers, and the aforementioned torque vectoring will be available too. Now let's take a look at the new cabin design. Through the last couple of decades, Audi has been a favorite of more conservative buyers due to its ability to perfectly execute a cabin design that mixes conventional aesthetics with contemporary tech features. With the new model, things don't seem drastically different, though the high-tech aspect of the cabin may have been raised to the next level. Simply, Audi was forced to follow the latest trends, so it comes as yet another German premium car with that curved screen. In front of the driver, there's a perfectly sized 11.9-inch digital instrument cluster characterized by a completely new layout with fancy details like a strip tachometer, fuel level indication, navigation information, etc. Still, some may be disappointed with the fact that it's no longer possible to select different types of gauges. A downgrade or not, time will tell. What's definitely an upgrade is a new centered touchscreen. Once again, it's a curved panel, now measuring 14.5 inches diagonally. It seems like a proper size for a vehicle like this, but more importantly, it features quick response, an easy-to-navigate menu, and crisp graphics. The new system is intuitive, and there's almost no learning curve. Finally, the front passenger gets his own piece of screen in the form of an optional 10.9-inch unit that may feel a little bit oddly placed at first, but it actually serves pretty well once you get used to it. To prevent distraction, what's on this screen can't be seen by the driver while the vehicle is moving. And while we're talking about preventing distractions, let's not forget to mention the new head-up display, bigger, nicer, and more colorful than before. Due to the fact that the wheelbase has been stretched by a generous 3.1 inches, the amount of rear legroom has been increased notably, and the new A5 accommodates adults with ease. As the roofline isn't as dramatic as before, there's also more headroom for the taller passengers in the back, while the cargo area, due to the hatchback configuration, offers way more room than the previous generation A4 sedan. In numbers, that would be a quite impressive 26 cubic feet behind the rear seats. That the A5 is completely replacing the A4 is super easy to realize once you look at the body style offer. The Cabrio and Coupe are gone, but on the other hand, there is a station wagon for the first time in the model's history named the A5 Avant. Of course, just like the so-called sedan, it takes all the benefits from the new design, but also raises practicality to the next level with its generous cargo area. And once again, Audi proved that it makes the best-looking wagons around because the A5 really dominates the scene with that sleek profile and wonderful D-pillar design. It imposes itself as a perfect family car, but only for Europeans, as this body style won't make its way to American shores. Why is that? We don't know, but we would really love to see it in this part of the world one day. Besides more body styles, European customers will also enjoy more powertrain options. The new A5 Avant, just like the A5 sedan, will be available with the same duo of engines as the North American model, but it will also add a couple of detuned variants of the 2-liter Turbo 4 with 150 and 204 horsepower. Moreover, despite the massive effort that European authorities are putting into electrification, Audi doesn't give up on diesel, so the good old 2-liter TDI remains available for its loyal clientele, though in just one output variant with 204 horsepower, available in both front-wheel and all-wheel drive configurations. Altogether, this reduction of models makes perfect sense in these days of electrification and lower demand for classic sedans. And by the first look at the new 2025 Audi A5, we believe that the new hatchback really has everything it needs to fill the A4's shoes and prevent traditional customers from going to brands that still believe in a 4-door sedan configuration. On the other hand, we must admit that we're not happy with the fact that the wagon version, the so-called A5 Avant, won't be offered in North America. For now, it'll remain exclusive to European drivers, which is a bit of a shame in our humble opinion. In any case, the international launch of the new generation is planned for November, while the exact date of the US launch is yet to be announced. As for the price, base models are expected to cost a little bit over $47,000, while the S5 will most likely start at around $59,000. What do you think about the all-new 2025 Audi A5? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.